A warm welcome to the newsroom. I am Fidelia Aguncha. In the last 5 years, Nigeria's debt stock has grown by 18.89 trillion naira. This is according to the country's Debt Management Office, DMO. In a statement released on Wednesday, the DMO pegged Nigeria's public debt profile at 31.01 trillion naira as at the end of June. According to the DMO, as of the end of June 2015, 1 month after the present administration came into power, the country's debt profile stood at 12.12 trillion naira. Now, this means in the last 5 years, under the President Muhammadu Buhari administration, the country's debt profile has risen by 155.86%. Nigeria's total public debt includes the debt stock of the federal government, the 36 states, and the Federal Capital Territory. President Muhammadu Buhari has announced plans to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty within the next 10 years. He announced this when he inaugurated the National Steering Committee to oversee Nigeria's Agenda 2050. The committee, jointly chaired by Atedo Peterside and the Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed, are also tasked with ensuring that the medium-term National Development Plan succeeds the Vision 2020 and the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan of 2017 to 2020. The federal government has agreed to pay doctors the June COVID-19 allowance. This agreement was reached at a meeting on Wednesday between the Labour Minister Chris Ngige and the Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, in Abuja. An approved sum of 8.9 billion naira was decided upon to pay all health workers in the country. With the agreement, the doctors are expected to call off the strike action, which they began on Monday to protest unpaid COVID-19 allowance, among other issues. The Federal Capital Territory has topped the list of newly confirmed cases of COVID-19, with 40 infections recorded in the last 24 hours. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) on Wednesday night announced 176 fresh cases to bring the national tally to 55,632. A further breakdown of the figures show that Lagos came second with 34 cases, followed by Plateau with 26 cases. On a positive note, 43,610 people have recovered from the virus, while 3 more deaths were recorded, taking the fatality toll to 1,070. The federal government has asked the Milan court to order ENI and Royal Dutch Shell to pay the sum of $1.09 billion as an immediate advance payment for damages. Shell and ENI jointly acquired rights to oil prospecting license 245, a Nigerian offshore oil block, for about $1.3 billion in 2011 from Malabu Oil and Gas, a company owned by a former Nigerian Minister of Petroleum Resources, Dan Etete. However, at a hearing into alleged corruption linked to the oil major's acquisition of the oil field, Lucio Lucia, lawyer for the Nigerian government, called for a guilty verdict and an advance payment ahead of any broader damages package set by a court at a later date. United Nations peacekeepers have resumed protection of Congo's Nobel Prize laureate Denis Mukwege, who received death threats in recent weeks after he called for justice over serious human rights violations. Mukwege has been campaigning for an international tribunal into possible war crimes committed from 1993 to 2003, as well as prosecution of armed groups responsible for ongoing sexual violence in eastern Congo. His recent comments embroiled him in a dispute with neighboring Rwanda, whose defense minister last month accused the Nobel laureate of peddling propaganda. Former captain of Nigeria's Scrabble national team, Paul Soje, has died after he was abducted by suspected herdsmen. Chairman of the Nigeria Scrabble Federation Publicity Committee, Akintunde Akinshemola, told newsmen that his body was found inside a bush in Idoani, Osha local government area of Ondo State on September 1st. According to him, Soje was said to have taken some ransom of money to kidnappers who had abducted his brother Chris 4 days earlier. The late soldier captained Nigeria to the African Scrabble Championship in Zambia in 2012. And that's the latest from the newsroom at this time. Many thanks for watching.